Hi friends, we find ourselves in a new era of disruptive technology with generative AI. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what is it, how will it change the world, and most importantly, how can we prepare ourselves for this disruptive technology that's just blowing up. So this is not new in our world. Over the last several decades, we've seen a disruptive technology or technologies come in our world. So 1995 to 2000, it was the web. From 2008 to 2012, it was mobile and cloud. And now in 2022, 2023, 2024, we're seeing the rapid adoption of generative AI, and it's only the beginning. So I don't know about you, but when the internet first came on the scene, I was probably 9 years old. And I vividly remember going to my dad's office with my sister. And we would go to my dad's office to connect to the internet. It was the old dial-up connection, and it would take a few minutes. And then there was a pop-up. The internet, we were connected to the internet. And it was like magic, going to Google and searching whatever we wanted. So I experienced this similar feeling of magic when I try to use ChatGPT in my day-to-day work. I'm like, how is this possible? How is this tool so powerful? So there's no doubt that this tool, this technology, generative AI will change our world. And I'd rather be on the side of trying to adopt, trying to reinvent myself, trying to learn all about it so that I can be prepared for the future that's ahead. So let's get into what is it. So generative AI, in very simple terms, think of it like it's a supercomputer that can create. So with the internet, what was made possible was that we could retrieve data pretty incredibly. That's what Google search does. There's all this data on the internet, and it's able to retrieve data that's most useful to me, to my search terms. And it's applicable at scale. So no matter what your education level is, no matter who you are, Google works the same way. So it's got incredible scale. And generative AI, on the other hand, is more like something that can not only retrieve data, but then it can generate something new from it. So I'm going to use a couple of analogies to illustrate how generative AI works. So let's say you are a painter and you want to learn how to paint. One way to do that is you might be interested in paintings from a certain era. So let's say the 1800s. So what happens is you go and you learn different painters that were from the 1800s. You read about their styles. You go to museums and you pick up on how did they paint back in the 1800s. And once you pick up the style of painting that existed, you can now create new paintings based on your learnings and knowledge. So you're essentially, as a human being, you have the ability to generate new painting, modeling of what's already out there in the 1800s. Or let's say you're a comedian. How does a comedian imitate others or pick up on accents? Well, they usually travel widely, or they are in a country like the US where there's people from everywhere, and they start observing different cultures, how people behave, the nuances, the pronunciations, and then they're able to generate comedy based on what they learn and observe. Similarly, with a child, what happens is if we teach a child how to draw animals, we're teaching a child perhaps certain features of an animal, the eyes, legs, maybe the fur of a cat. We're teaching all of these different features, and then over time, as the child grows and develops their skills, they're able to pick up these features and draw a new animal that they haven't seen. It might be imaginary, or they might draw an animal they've never seen, but they somehow figure out, based on their learnings, how to draw a horse, for instance. So that's essentially what we mean by generative. It's this technology's ability to create new things from data. So let's move to point number 2, which is how will a generative AI change the world? The World Economic Forum predicts that GenAI potentially will displace 85 million jobs by 2025. That's only a couple of years away, less than a couple of years away. And we're already seeing people in different fields use generative AI in many ways. For example, software developers are using it to help them write code. Scientists are using Gen AI to accelerate their discoveries. If you are somebody in the legal field, you can even summarize case law very quickly using Gen AI, or even other professions like cooks. They're able to come up with new recipes much faster using Gen AI. So if there's one impact that generative AI will have on the world, is that it will revolutionize productivity. So that's the major impact this is going to have. And while it feels scary, and it can be scary, this is not new. Human beings have come up with tools that have drastically increased our productivity, and especially if you think about the last 100 years. Prior to the last 100 years, we didn't used to fly. Today, we're able to get anywhere in the world, any corner of the world, pretty much within 24 hours. If you think about the steam engine, that was an innovation that changed so much for the world. Or electricity, in terms of our ability to be productive at night. Think about call centers in India. You're able to be productive even at night because of electricity. So it unlocks productivity. So that's essentially how Gen AI will impact the world. It'll just dramatically increase our productivity, which isn't a bad thing. With generative AI, what's different is that it has reached critical mass adoption in a very short period of time compared to other breakthrough technologies that mankind has invented. So let's look at this interesting chart. Here we see that it took electricity 37 years to reach mass adoption. Personal computers took about 23 years, smartphone 21 years, internet 17 years, and ChatGPT just 10 months. So this is mind-boggling as to how fast this is being adopted, and its use cases are across many fields. So my last point, and perhaps the most important point, is how do we prepare for this disruptive technology that's gonna change our lives? And I've kind of observed two trends here. One is that organizations and individuals are on the fearful side of questions, and rightly so, of like whether they're gonna exist. Is an organization gonna be completely disrupted because of this technology? Or individuals fearing that they're going to lose their job. Others are seeing this as an opportunity to develop their skills and to grow and evolve with this trend. And I think that the second orientation towards ChatGPT or generative AI will help us be ready for what this transformation will bring. If we can try incorporating ChatGPT as just an initial tool of generative AI into our day-to-day workflows, and if you haven't already done it, just go ahead and try it and see what happens. And viewing it as something that'll improve our productivity in a drastic way will help us to work on things that really matter, to work on things that add even more value. If ChatGPT can do certain tasks much faster than us, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Human beings are ingenious, and we will figure out ways to add way more value than tool, but it'll be in different forms. So all that means is we need to have an orientation that is of growth and evolving, and having that mindset will allow us to flow with this transformation, so to speak. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please hit the like button and I will see you next time.